A World Trade Website Guide 1. Chapter 1. World Trade Websites 1. World Trade articles at liveabout.com/import-export-business-6504662. Lots of free articles. Alibaba.com and globalstarces.com, the big World Trade websites. Find the stuff you want to sell retail here. Look at what's selling. See where you could fit in selling products worldwide. You could sell your products there and buy products to resell locally. Globaltrade.net, formerly FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Associations. Every time I try, I get a timeout. Major World Trade websites. Books about world trade are at number 382, hashtag 658.84809 or HC135 and HF1379 at the library. International Chamber of Commerce. 38 Cours Albert 1 ER. Paris, France F75008. 1-4953-2828. Fax, 1-4953-2859. iccwbo.org. Try this formula. biusa.gov/n/doingbusinessin.html. biusa.gov/ireland/n/doingbusiness-in-ireland.html. biusa.gov/poland/n/doingbusiness-in-poland.html. inyourpocket.com/ inyourpocket.com/Australia. inyourpocket.com/Poland. .countrysearch.tradekey.com. jp.countrysearch.tradekey.com, Japan. us.countrysearch.tradekey.com, United States. globalstarces.com. allproducts.com. export.gov/eac/index.asp. business.usa.gov. export.gov/mrktresearch/index.asp, market research homepage. biusa.gov. worldbank.org/countries, countries and regions index, World Bank. lcweb2.loc.gov/frd/cs/cshome.html, country studies/area handbooks, Library of Congress. iccwbo.org, the International Chamber of Commerce. wto.org, World Trade Organization. iccbooks.com, International Chamber of Commerce Books. wcoomd.org, World Customs Organization, HS Codes, Harmonized Coding System. aib.msu.edu, Academy of International Business, an association of scholars and specialists in the field of international business. allocationandwin.com, worldwide business and trade search engine. asianconnections.com/world_trade_world_trade_websites/world_trade_websites.php. bizeurope.com/bsr/country/world.htm. businessonlineindia.com, exporters, importers, manufacturers, dealers business directory in India. busytrade.com. census.gov/foreign-trade, international trade data. commerce-database.com. diytrade.com/directory/global. diytrade.com/directory/global/by/products-list-tradewatch.org. docsonline.wto.org. doingbusiness.org/explore topics/starting business/details.aspx, business regulations and their enforcement across 175 countries. doingbusiness.in.com. eceurope.com, Directory of European Companies. economist.com/countries, country briefings. enterweb.org/market.htm. etown.edu/vl/intlbus.html. expandglobal.com. export911.com. faqs.org/abstracts/business-internationalworldtradeorg.com. FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Associations. FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Organizations. FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Associations. FITA.org/jobs/index.html, Federation of International Trade Associations. FITA.org/tradehub.html, a buy-sell bulletin board, ads. Foreign-trade.com. GlobalBizDirectory.com. GlobalGE.msu.edu. GlobalGE.msu.edu. GlobalGE.msu.edu/ibrd/ibrd.asp. GlobalGE.msu.edu/ibrd/ibrd.asp, the International Business Resource Desk. GlobalExecutiveForum.net. GlobalTower.com. GTAMart.com, Global Trade Alliance Inc. IFAT.org, International Fair Trade. IMEX.com/IMEX/trade. IMF.org/external/pub, International Monetary Fund pubs. ImportExportHelp.com. ImportExportHelp.com. Infoworld.com. InternationalBusinessDirectory.com. InternationalDirectory.biz, International Business Directory. Intrasend.org, International Trade Center. Intinet.net. lib.berkeley.edu/busy/bbg18.html. lib.lsu.edu/bus/marketing.html. Masterzeek.com, an international business search engine. nftc.org, National Foreign Trade Council. nyulawglobal.org. planetbiz.com. rileyguyde.com/intlbus.html. sourcecan.com, B2B ads. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/list_of_international_trade_topics, international trade topics. timestrade.com, Global Business Directory, Trade Directory. Trade.gov, International Trade Administration. Trade.gov/IA, Import Administration. Tradechannel.com. TradeForAmerica.org. TradeForum.org. Tradeinfo.commerce.gov. TradeKey.com. TradePartners.gov.uk, info on different countries. TradeWatch.org. TradeWorld.com, the source of international trade leads for suppliers, manufacturers, exporters. TradeWorlds.com. Twaynet.com/trade. web.idirect.com/tiger, links to worldwide business websites. World.wtca.org, World Trade Centers around the globe. WorldTradeA.com, B2B ads. WorldTradeClub.net. WorldTradeRef.com, your one-stop resource for trade information. WTCA.org, World Trade Center Association. WTO.org. WTO.org/English. United States World Trade websites. Try the following formulas. BuyUSA.gov/. BuyUSA.gov/Alabama. BuyUSA.gov/Alaska. AmericanTrade.net//.htm. American-Trade.net/al/Alabama-home.htm. American-Trade.net/az/Arizona-home.htm. ita.commerce.gov/td/industry/state_report/.html. ita.commerce.gov/td/industry/state_report/Alabama.html. ita.commerce.gov/td/industry/state_report/Arizona.html. 1stworldtradeportal.com. afsc.org/trade-matters. Alibaba.com, Alibaba Manufacturer Directory. amconmag.com. America.gov, AmericanMarketAccess.com, ANSYS.com/global_trade.asp, AstroFonics.com, free worldwide classified ads, biz.yahoo.com, bizjournals.com, bnsf.com/communities/contacts/gov_contacts.html, bsu.edu/ibb, caltradereport.com, centradex.com, cia.gov/library/publications/the-world-factbook/geo/us.html, ciolec.com/outrad.html, Old World Trade Routes, citizen.org/trade, citizenstrade.org, citysearch.com, coffeereview.com, Coffee Review, the world's leading coffee buying guide, commerce.gov, crashcourseandexporting.com, eda.gov, entrepreneur.com/trade journals, exim.gov, Export-Import Bank of the United States. Export your products worldwide. Export.gov, fairtradefederation.org, fas.usda.gov/agx/exporter_assistance.asp, agriculture, fy.dot.gov/freight, fita.org/countries/us.html, Federation of International Trade Associations, fordschool.umich.edu/rsie/model, the Michigan Model of World Production and Trade, foreignaffairs.org, gabler.com/exporting.htm, globalresearch.ca, global-secure-x-im-services.us, start your import-export business. GoForWorldBusiness.com, global trade leads. GreatDreams.com/trade.htm, IATP.org, Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy, IFG.org, International Forum on Globalization, IFG.org, International Forum on Globalization, IMEX.com, promote international trade on the Internet by supplying trade leads, IMF.org, International Monetary Fund, InsideTrade.com, InsideTrade.com/about/trade_terms.asp, link to exports.co.uk/country profiles, llrx.com/features/wdo2.htm, tariffs and trade to the World Trade Organization, MackeyTradeFair.com, NewAmerica.net, NorthAmerica-Trade.com, OneWorld.net, OPEC.org, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, pica.ws/fairtrade, purefood.org/ge/minwdo.cfm, pwt.econ.upenn.edu, economic data from around the world, repc.org/d/iedwbus.html, publications at International Trade Group, senate.gov, senate.gov/foreign, senate.gov/issues/trade.cfm, sierraclub.org/trade/wdo, spyglasspoint.com, learn how to be a global trader, state.gov, basemen.org/hijinx/wdo.shtml, trade.businessroundtable.org, trade.gov, tradeandindustrydev.com, tradeatsea.com, tradeforamerica.org, tradeholding.net, tradeinote.net, tradeobservatory.org, traderoots.org, tradewatch.org, tradeworld.com, the source of international trade leads for suppliers, manufacturers, exporters, ucblibraries.colorado.edu/govpub/us/trade.htm, un.org/esa/ffd, financing for development, unctad.org, usaid.gov/pubs, usinfo.state.gov, usmf.org/trade library, usdr.gov. world.wtca.org, World Trade Centers around the globe. worldbank.org/economic policy/globalization. worldbid.com. worldbridge.wayne.edu. worldcon.org. worldtrade2u.com, ads. worldtradeclub.net. worldtradeconference.com. worldtradehope.com. worldtradelaw.net. worldtrademag.com. worldtrademag-digital.com. worldtradapress.com. worldtraderep.com, your one-stop resource for trade information. wto.org. wto.org/English. wtpfed.org. yellowpages.com. Chapter 2. World Trade Websites 2. World Trade Arbitration Websites. iccwbo.org/index_court.asp, ICC International Court of Arbitration. iccarbitration.org. jca.or.jp/e/arbitration-e/a-index.html, Japan Commercial Arbitration Association. cid.harvard.edu, Center for International Development. The Academy of Experts. 2, South Square, London, WC1R5 HP, United Kingdom. Plus 44 27637 0333 fax. 44 27637 1893. academy-experts.org. admin@academy-experts.org. American Arbitration Association. 335 Madison Avenue, NYC 100174605 USA. 1-212-716-5800. Fax, 1-212-716-5905 adr.org. AAA headquarters at adr.com. Center for Dispute Resolution. Prince's House 95, Gresham Street, London, EC2V7NA, United Kingdom. 44 27600 0500. Fax, 44 27600 0501. cedar.co.uk. Mediate at cedar.co.uk. Regulatory Issues and Disputes in International Trade. Institute for Dispute Resolution. 366 Madison Avenue, NYC 10173 to 122 USA. 212-949-6490. Fax, 212-949-8859. cpradr.org. info@cpradr.org. Chartered Institute of Arbitrators International Arbitration Center. 12, Bloomsbury Square, London, WC1. 44 27421 7444. Fax, 44 27421 4023. Arbitrators.org. China International Economic and Trade Arbitration Commission, CTAC, 6/F Golden Land Building 32 Liangmaqiao Road, Chaoyang District, Beijing 100,016, China. 8610 6464 6688/3517. Fax, 8610 6464 3500/3520. cieta@public.bta.net.cn. Hong Kong International Arbitration Center. 38th floor. 2 Exchange Square. 8 Connaught Place. Hong Kong, China. 852-2525 2381. Fax, 852-2524 2171. hkiac.org. adr@kiac.org. Inter-American Commercial Arbitration Commission. OAS Administration Building. Room 211. 19th and Constitution Avenue, Washington, D.C. 20006 USA. 202-458-3249. Fax, 202-458-3293. International Arbitral Center of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber Wiedner Hauptstraat 63. PO Box 319, 1045 Vienna, Austria. 431501 3701. Fax, 431502 3702. ICC at wk.or.at. International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. 1818 H Street, NW. Washington, D.C. 20433 USA. 202-458-1534. Fax, 2025-2226-15/2027. International Chamber of Commerce International Court of Arbitration. 38 Cours Albert 1 ER. 75008 Paris, France. 33 149 53 28 28. Fax, 33 149 53 29 29. iccwbo.org. arb@iccwbo.org. International Commercial Arbitration Court at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Russian Federation. 6 Ilinka Street. Moscow 103,012 Russian Federation. 7095-929-0193. Fax, 7095-929-0334. Jams and Dispute. 345 Park Avenue. 8th floor. NYC 10154 USA. 212-751-2700. Fax, 212-751-4099. jams-anddispute.com. Kuala Lumpur Regional Center for Arbitration 12 Jalan Conley. 50,450 Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. 63-242-0103/0702. Fax, 63-242-4513. klrc.org. klrca@putara.net.my. London Court of International Arbitration, Hulton House. 6th floor. 161 to 166 Fleet Street. London EC4A2DY. United Kingdom. 4427-936-3530. Fax, 4427,936-3533. lcia-arbitration.com/lcia. lcia@lcia-arbitration.com. Netherlands Arbitration Institute. PO Box 190, 3080 Rotterdam. Gebeplaza Wiener 666. 3012 CN Rotterdam. The Netherlands. 3110-404-2200. Fax, 3110-404-5140. Singapore International Arbitration Center. 1 Coleman Street. #0508. The Adelphi, Singapore 179,803. Singapore. 65334-1277. Fax, 65334-2942. siac.tdb.gov.sg. Signer b@singnet.com.sg. Stockholm Chamber of Commerce. Arbitration Institute. PO Box 16050, 10321 Stockholm, Sweden. 468555-150. Fax, 468566-316-50. Chamber.se. Arbitration@chamber.se. United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. Vienna International Center. PO Box 500, 1400 Vienna, Austria. 43 126,000 and 64,060. Fax, 43 126,000 and 65,813. un.or.at/UNCITRAL. uncitral@unvienna.un.or.at. WIPO Arbitration and Mediation Center, World Intellectual Property Organization. 34 Chemin de Colombets 1211. Geneva 20, Switzerland. 41 22 338 8247. Fax, 41 22 740 3700. arbiter.wipo.int. arbiter.mail@wipo.int. World Trade Publications websites. Go to a periodical directory at the library for a list of many publications in the business and international trade sections. World Trade Magazine. 755 W. Big Beaver Road. Number 1000. Troy, Michigan, 48084. 248-362-3700. WorldTradeMag.com. abconline.de. academicpress.com. access.gpo.gov. oklondon.co.uk, British German Chamber. alancharles.com. alliedacademies.org/international business. apsg.anu.edu.au/ajrc, Australia. asiatrademart.com. associationham.org, India. bender.com, variety of journals. bna.com/products, trade books. brazilianist.com, Brazil. iccbooks.com. globalmarketbriefings.com. bri.berkeley.edu. brook.edu/press/trade-forum. bunkernews.com. businessmonitor.com. businessnews.com.au, Australia. businesspress.ru, allmedia.ru, Russia. cameronmay.com, international trade corruption. caribbeanupdate.com. cbizmedia.com, officialexportguide.com. cbw.com, China. cch.com, Journal of Global Taxation. cciwa.com, Western Australia. ccpit.org, China. sense.com, China. charlton.com.au. chinabusinessreview.com. chinaeconomicreview.com. cibpubs.com. cibdc.com.cn, itn.com.cn, China. cnewsusa.com, Commerce News. freezone.com, Panama. commoditiesusa.com. countrydata.com. cplnz.com, Trade Books. croner.co.uk. csufresno.edu/jib, Journal of International Business. cubatrade.org, cubatips.org. dal.ca/sba/cibs, Center for International Business Studies. danishexporters.dk. delken.cec.eu.int/n. dmgworldmedia.com. dmnews.com. dti.gov.uk/export control/publications. edc.ca/corpinfo/pubs, Canada. efic.gov.au/pdfs, Australian Trade Office. eis.be, Belgium. eiu.com, store.eiu.com, Economist Intelligence Unit. elsevier.com, elsevier.nl, Business Journals. emap.com. escwa.org.lb/information/publications, Middle East. euromoney.com. europa.eu.int/information_society. europapublications.com. eurunion.org/publicat. export.gov. exportcourier.co.uk. exporter.com. exportinstitute.com. exportleads.com, importersnet.com. farnhamcastle.com, cultural and business briefings worldwide. fas.usda.gov, Foreign Agricultural Service. fcibglobal.com, Finance, Credit, and International Business. FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Organizations. ft.com, Financial Times Country Briefs. FCOV, FTCWatch.com, Federal Trade Commission. Get.org, World Trade Agreement. getrends.com, Global Economic Trends. grai.com, Global Risk Assessments. greenwood.com. guatemalanamcham.com. harnish.com, Germany. Hartcourt.com. hawaii.edu/ib. hayworthpress.com, International Business Press. hedgefundnews.com. his.com/ely/pubmebi, Middle East. hsbc.com, publishes business profiles. iabe.com, Business and Economics. icenews.is/ib, Iceland. imaginepub.com. img.com.tr, Turkey. independentmedia.ru, Russia. inderscience.com, Journal of Global Business. indianspiesas.com. informamaritime.com. insidetrade.com, iwpnews.com. internationalconomy.com. internationaltaxreview.com. intrasend.org. jakesassociates.com, Cargo. jftc.adm9.go.jp, Fair Trade Commission, Japan. jock.com, Journal of Commerce. kluwerlaw.com, kluweronline.com, Tax Journals. kotra.or.kr, kt-i.com, Korea. latinnews.com. latintrade.com. law.umn.edu/globaltrade. leadersmag.com. lexuslawpublishing.com. link2link.co.il, Israel. lavalwhitedurant.com, Trade Law. lrfairplay.com, Lloyd's Register. luxna.com, South America. matingermaniweb.de. madrid.org, Spain. maganti.mt, Malta. marketfile.co.uk. mead.com, Middle East. meps.co.uk. merchantinternational.com. mesharp.com/mall. mickey.com. mises.com, Made in Europe. moftech.gov.cn, China. monitorpress.co.uk. mpeda.com, Marine Products, India. mpo.cz/english/g/gc. multinationalmoninter.org. nationalpublishing.co.uk. nato.int, North Atlantic Treaty Countries. nata.net/Iran Exports. nctiindia.com. nihao.com/cic, China. niinet.org, Nigeria. OECD.org, Economic Cooperation and Development. Pangaea.net/IGN, Interactive Global News. peerspub.com/impexp. Platts.com, Export-Import Report. Portuguesechamber.org.uk. Princeton.edu/IES, International Economics. prsgroup.com, Political Risk. sciworld.com/newsletter, India. pwcglobal.com, Trade Books. queensawards.org.uk. readcaribbean.com, Caribbean. readbusiness.com.au, Australia. researchers.com, Washington. researchers.com. routledge.co.uk. runtsintelligence.com. softo.co.za, South Africa. senatehall.com/jibe, International Business Education. setanta.ie, Ireland. silverplatter.com, Trade Books. Simbanet.com. SouthAfrica.net, South Africa. Stats.government.nz, New Zealand. Store.eiu.com/index, Economic Country Reports. SupplyChainBrain.com. Sweet10maxwell.co.uk. SWISstrata.com, oc.ch, Switzerland. 10df.co.uk/journals. tdc.org.hk, Hong Kong Trade Development. Telecomfinance.com. tfreview.com, Trade and Forfeiting Review. Thomson.com. tptaiwan.org. Trade.gov. Trade.gov/Export America. TradeChannel.com. TradeRoundup.com, SmartSources.com. TransnationalPubs.com. uk.camgiride.org/journal/WTR, World Trade Review. unctad.org, Unconference on Trade and Development. un.org/publications. unctad.org, Conference on Trade and Development. USA Europe usines.com, sterlingpublications.com. uscib.org, US Council for International Business. usidc.gov, Trade Commission. usdr.gov/reports. vniki.ru, Russia. wapress.com/IBER, International Business and Economics. wapress.com/jbermain, Business and Economics Research. WashingtonTradeDaily.com. WatersInfo.com. WIFA.com. WEPZA.org, Trading with Emerging Nations. Wildnet.co.uk/Nordic Times. WorldBank.org. WorldBusiness.net. WorldInformation.com. WorldProfit.com. WorldReports.org, Offshore Banking. WorldTradeMag.com. WorldTradePress.com. WTExec.com, World Trade Executive. Business America World Trade Magazine. Superintendent of Documents. Washington, D.C. 20402. 202-512-1800. GPO.gov. Coble World Trade Magazine. 1420 Steeplechase Drive. Dover, Pennsylvania 17315. 717-292-5763. Export Today Magazine. 733 15th Street Northwest. Number 1100. Washington, D.C. 20005. 202-737-1060. Import-Export Business. 93 Willits Drive. Syosset, New York 11791. 516-496-8740. International Trade Alert. And International Trade Monthly. 11 West 42nd Street. New York, New York 10036. 212-944-2230. The Exporter Executive. 401 North Broad Street. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19108. 215-238-5300. Twin Plant News. 4110 Rio Bravo. Number 108. El Paso, Texas 79902. Newsletter about setting up a business in Mexico. American Export Register. Thomas Publishing Co. 5 Penn Plaza. NYC 10001. 212-290-7343. Fax, 212-629-1140. Asian Markets. Latin American Markets. Box 19005, 20th St. Sta. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-333-3499. Fax, 202-625-0656. Researchers.com/pub. Association of SE Asian Trade Council. 40 East 49th Street. Number 501. NYC 10017. 718-688-2755. Austrian Foreign Trade Division. 12 Stubinring. A1011. Vienna, Austria. Business America, International Trade. Export Yellow Pages. U.S. Department of Commerce. 14th St. Washington, D.C. 20230. 202-482-3251. Fax, 202-482-5819. Commerce.gov. China and Hong Kong Business Review. 1818 N St. N.W. Number 200. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-429-0340. Fax, 202-775-2476. Export Turkey. Nesri Yat Ve Matbiasilik Ltd. St. Gezi Bulvari 18. Izmir, Turkey. 51-25-93-50. Exporter, the Trade Data Reports. 34 West 37th Street. NYC 10018. 212-563-2772. Fax, 212-563-2798. Foreign Trade, North Korea. Potonggang District. Korean Pub. Exchange Association. Export Association. Pyongyang. N. Korea. Fax, 850-281-4632. German Catalog. Edithix Chat. 15/1 Shavstrasse D 7901. Illerkirchberg 2. Germany. German-American Trade. 40 West 57th Street. 31st FL. NYC 10019. 212-874-8830. Fax, 212-974-8867. Holland Exports. ABC Voorhandel en Industrie CV. POG 190, 2000 ad. Haarlem, Holland. Fax, 31-23-532-7033. Hong Kong Trader. 36th FL. Office Tower. Convention Plaza. 1 Harbor Road. Wan Chai, Hong Kong. 258 to 44,333. Fax, 282 to 40,249. Imports, Exports Taiwan. Taiwan Trade Opportunities. Trade Council, 8th FL. 333 Keelung Road. Taipei, Taiwan. 02-725-5200. Fax, 02-757-6444. Vietnam Trade Review. Ministry of Trade. Hanoi, Vietnam. Fax, 84-4-826-2311. Fair Trade Info. Fair trade is not to be confused with free trade, which are trade agreements between countries. Fair trade is an organized social movement that strives to help the farmers, artists, and other manual laborers in third world countries get a fair wage for their products. There are some stores around that focus on selling fair trade products. Transfairusa.org, non-profit monitoring organization which certifies that participating traders are following fair trade guidelines. Fairtradefederation.org, fairtradefederation.com, association of businesses which provides fair wages and employment opportunities to low-income artisans and farmers worldwide. Fairtrade.org.uk. BAFS.org.uk, British Association for Fair Trade Shops. CRSFairtrade.org, Catholic Relief Services Fair Trade Programs for Disadvantaged Artisans, Farmers, and Farm Workers. EFTAFairtrade.org, the European Fair Trade Association. cafedirect.co.uk. equalexchange.co.uk en.wikipedia.org/wiki/fair_trade en.wikipedia.org/wiki/fair_trade_debate en.wikipedia.org/wiki/make_trade_fair ethichuet.ca evaluates a range of fair trade products found in Canada. fairtourismsa.org.za Fair Trade in Tourism, South Africa. Fairtrade.asn.au promotes fair trade in Victoria and Tasmania, Australia. Fairtrade.change.org. Fairtrade.net, Fair Trade Labeling Organizations International, standards and certification body for the fair trade movement. Divinechocolate.com. Fairtrade.org.uk. Fairtradeegypt.org. Fairtraderesource.org. Fairtradestudents.org, Fair Trade Student Association. FTA.org.au, Fair Trade Association of Australia and New Zealand. globalexchange.org/campaign/fairtrade/coffee. globalexchangestore.org. Goal is to encourage and perpetuate the principles of fair trade on campus. ifat.org. JewsT-shirts.ca, sweatshop free shirts and hoodies. LaHistoria.ca, Fair Trade Nicaraguan items. lwr.org/fairtrade, Fair Trade, Overview, Lutheran World Relief. MackeyTradeFair.com, Oxfam. MamaAfrica.com, a fair trade company working to improve the lives of African women and children through trade, donations, and information sharing. MyEarthCoffee.com. Oxfam.org.uk/fair_trade.html. prc.dircon.co.uk/about_fair_trade.htm. Shopfairtrade.com. Tradeazone.com, fair trade gifts, purses, jewelry. Transfairusa.org, support fair trade. WFTday.org, World Fair Trade Day is celebrated every second Saturday of May. WFTA.com, the World Fair Trade Organization. Fairtrade.net. Free Trade Info. Free trade is about agreements two or more countries make with each other to allow a free flow of importing and exporting most but not all goods without paying duties and tariffs. NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and GATT, the General Agreement of Trades and Tariffs, are the biggest ones. A free trade area is a designated group of countries that have agreed to eliminate tariffs, quotas, and preferences on most, if not all, goods and services traded between them. Answers.com/free-heritage.org/research/trade-and-foreign-aid/bg1391.cfm. Bilaterals.org. Caltradereport.com. Citizen.org/trade/NAFTA, Public Citizen, NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, North. dfate-maci.gc.ca/nafta-alina/menu-n.asp. Economist.com. EFTA.int, European Free Trade Society. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/free_trade. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/free_trade_area. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/free_trade_debate. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/free_trade_zone. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/free_world. kishtpc.com/freetradezones.htm, World Free Trade Zones. worldtradeforum.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/north_american_free_trade_agreement. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/trans-pacific_strategic_economic_partnership, a multilateral free trade agreement between the countries of Brunei, Chile, New Zealand, and Singapore. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/world_trade. escapeartist.com/ftz/ftz_index.html, free trade zones. factmonster.com/ipd/a04491006.html, free trade, meaning and definitions. freetrade.org. freetrade.org, Cato Center for Trade Policy Studies. free-trade.suite101.com. freezones.org. citizen.org/trade/NAFTA. globalgalleryonline.org. hoover.stanford.edu/publication/digest/974/friedman.html, the case for free trade. house.gov, what is free trade? icf2.org, International Confederation of Free Trade Unions. lib.umich.edu, choose social sciences resources/government and politics/u.s government resources, legislative branch/legislate to see NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA.net, North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA-customs.org. naftalab.bus.utexas.edu. natlaw.com, Inter-American Free Trade. natlaw.com, the National Law Center for Inter-American Free Trade. cis.oas.org/trade/nafta/nafta-tce.asp. tapsearch.com. tpusa.com/nafta/nafta.html, North American Free Trade Agreement. tradeobservatory.org, free trade in agriculture, a bad idea. wisegeek.com/what-is-nafta.htm, what is NAFTA? wnd.com. worldbankpresident.org. worldtrademag.com. wto.org, World Trade Organization. Chapter 3. World Trade Websites 3. World Trade Customs websites at apparelzarch.com/customs.htm. apparelzarch.com/shipping.htm, shipping guide. apparelzarch.com/customs_by_country.htm, customs by country. apparelzarch.com/associations_customs_brokers.htm, customs broker associations. cbp.gov, United States Customs Service. cbp.gov/trade/basic-import-export, importing and exporting. otexa.trade.gov, trade agreements for the apparel industry. usidc.gov/tatas/hts/by-chapter/index.htm, harmonized tariff schedule of the United States. usidc.gov/tatas/hts/index.htm, U.S. category system. dataeb.usidc.gov/tariff/database, U.S. tariff rates. dataeb.usidc.gov, U.S. tariff and trade data web. cbp.gov/trade/quotas/bulletins, import quotas. apparelzarch.com/customs_duty_drawback.htm, duty. Drawback. census.gov/foreign-trade/schedule/b/index.html, schedule B search engine. cbp.gov/documents/publication/classify-apparel-terminology-under-HSUS, apparel terminology under the HSUS. cbp.gov, U.S. Customs. ec.europa.eu/taxation_customs/dds2/quota_consultation.jsp?lang=n, Europe Union. tid.gov.hk/eindex.html, Hong Kong. madb.europa.eu/madb, Market Access Database. Tariff information for non-EU countries. apec.org, APEC Tariff Database. tr.apec.org, Tariffs and Rules of Origin in APEC member economies. apec.org, Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC. tax.thomson-reuters.com/site/checkpoint/boskage/trade-publications. Thomson Reuters Global Trade Publications. CUMSA.int, Common Market of Eastern and Southern Africa, CUMSA. ftaa-alca.org/alca_e.asp, FTAA Free Trade Area of the Americas. Trade.gov, International Trade Administration. LogisticsZone.com, Logistics Zone. otexa.trade.gov/msrpoint.htm, Major Shippers Report. English.mofcom.gov.cn, Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation, MOFTEC. China. Trade.gov/North-American-Free-Trade-Agreement-NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. USFashionIndustry.com, United States Association of Importers of Textiles and Apparel, USAITA. CBP.gov, U.S. Customs official website. otexa.trade.gov, U.S. Department of Commerce Office of Textiles and Apparel, ATEXA. otexa.trade.gov/corr.htm, U.S. Textile and Apparel Category. System. wto.org/english/tradeop_e/texti_e/texti_e.htm, The World Trade Organization. A list of international business podcasts at blog.feedspot.com/international_business_podcasts. Anchor.fm/hultpod. boardroomandbeyond.com/podcast-episodes. Buzzsprout.com/1775774. Buzzsprout.com/996286. cms.megaphone.fm/channel/bossladyspeaks. cnbc.com. Worldwide Exchange Podcast.html. csis.org/podcast/smart-women-smart-power-podcast. culturematters.com/culture-matters-podcast-management-podcast. feedspot.com/media-contact-database?@_src=@_blog. markwiltshire.com/category/podcast-notes. pod.co/business-growth-network. pod.co/business-processes-people-talk-with-Tina. podcast.transformativedirections.com. podomatic.com/podcasts/international toolkit. sourcefindasia.com/made in China. spreaker.com/show/business-beyond-borders. voiceamerica.com/show/2565/global-business. World Trade Customs websites at apparelzarch.com/customs.htm. apparelzarch.com/shipping.htm, Shipping Guide. apparelzarch.com/customs_by_country.htm, Customs by country. apparelzarch.com/associations_customs_brokers.htm, Customs Broker Associations. cbp.gov, United States Customs Service. cbp.gov/trade/basic-import-export, importing and exporting. otexa.trade.gov, trade agreements for the apparel industry. usidc.gov/tatas/hts/bychapter/index.htm, harmonized tariff schedule of the United States. usidc.gov/tatas/hts/index.htm, U.S. Category System. dataeb.usidc.gov/tariff/database, U.S. Tariff Rates. dataeb.usidc.gov, U.S. Tariff and Trade Data Web. cbp.gov/trade/quota/bulletins, import quotas. apparelzarch.com/customs_duty_drawback.htm, duty. Drawback. census.gov/foreign-trade/schedule/b/index.html, Schedule B search engine. cbp.gov/document/publication/classify cation-apparel-terminology-under-HSUS, Apparel terminology under the HTSUS. cbp.gov, U.S. Customs. ec.europa.eu/taxation_custom/dds2/quota_consultation.jsp?lang=n, Europe Union. tid.gov.hk/eindex.html, Hong Kong. madb.europa.eu/madb, Market Access Database. Tariff information for non-EU countries. apec.org, APEC Tariff Database. tr.apec.org, Tariffs and Rules of Origin in APEC member economies. apec.org, Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC. tax.thomson-reuters.com/site/checkpoint/boskage/trade-publications. Thomson Reuters Global Trade Publications. CUMSA.int, Common Market of Eastern and Southern Africa, CUMSA. ftaa-alca.org/alca_e.asp, FTAA Free Trade Area of the Americas. Trade.gov, International Trade Administration. LogisticsZone.com, Logistics Zone. otexa.trade.gov/msr.htm, Major Shippers Report. English.mofcom.gov.cn, Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Cooperation, MOFTEC. China. Trade.gov/North-American-Free-Trade-Agreement-NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. usfashionindustry.com, United States Association of Importers of Textiles and Apparel, USAITA. cbp.gov, U.S. Customs official website. otexa.trade.gov, U.S. Department of Commerce Office of Textiles and Apparel, ATEXA. otexa.trade.gov/corr.htm, U.S. Textile and Apparel Category. System. wto.org/english/trade-op_e/texti_e/texti_e.htm, The World Trade Organization. Logistics Associations at apparels/warehouses_and_logistics.htm. dcenter.com, Distribution Business Management Association. iwlaw.com, International Warehouse Logistics Association, IWLA. swaonline.org, Southeastern Warehouse Association. uqua.org.uk, United Kingdom Warehouse Association. Shipping associations at apparels/organizations_associations.htm. aapa-ports.org, American Association of Port Authorities. AAPA. airforwarders.org/see pages/homepage, Air Forwarders Association. isaship.com, American Import Shippers Association. bifa.org, British International Freight Association. BIFA. CIFFA.com, Canadian International Freight Forwarding Association. CIFA. CSCMP.org, Council of Supply Chain Management, CSCMP. FITA.org, Federation of International Trade Associations. FITA. GeminiShippers.com, Fashion Accessories Shippers Association. Inc. IATA.org/pages/default.aspx, International Air Transportation Association, IATA. IFCBA.org, International Federation of Customs Brokers Associations, IFSPA. ILWU.org, International Longshore and Warehouse Union, ILWU. IMO.org/n/pages/default.aspx, International Maritime Organization, IMO. Intermodal.org, Intermodal Association. UITA.com, Owner-Operators Independent Driver Association. PMA.org, Pacific Maritime Association, PMA. TIACA.org, the International Air Cargo Association. TIACA. USChamber.com.